Okay, everybody on your feet. We're doing Welcome to My Morning. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. Yes, I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my happiness, you know it makes me smile. It pleases me to have you here for just a little while we open up the spaces, try to break some chains. And if the truth is told, they will never come again. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Welcome to my morning, welcome to my day. Yes, I'm the one responsible, I made it just this way. To make myself some pictures, see what they might bring. I think I made it perfectly, I wouldn't change a thing. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today we have Sally and Jamie, our musicians. And I can see everybody heard that Reverend Joanna Gabriel's come. Look how full we are. Joe is our board member of the day. And Joe and Cindy are the ushers. Debbie Clay, there she is. She's our chaplain, so afterwards, if you want to sit with someone and pray for happiness or forgiveness or whatever you need prayer for, she's going to help you. Cindy Swink is our youth ed champion, our hostesses are Mary Ellen and Ann. And we're all part of the Spick and Span team. We have Mark Swink at the computer. I'm Ron Savage. Okay. We have any new people today? First timers?
Woohoo, we do.
You do?
Yes, she's shy, so.
Oh, hi. Did you get your red heart?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to explain that in a second. It is time for a song. I just read that.
They always try and trick us.
Sometimes it works.
Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew right spirit within me. Create in me a clean heart, oh God, and renew right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, O Lord, take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of our salvation, and renew right spirit within me.
If you're new today with Unity of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know that no matter where you are in your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you the heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each of us. And we ask you to carry this symbol as a member of this Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The Red Heart as a symbol of fellowship in the world can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. And for those of us visiting today, whether you're on the internet or right here with us, and it's your first time, we want you to know that we have a different speaker every week, and we'd love to have you join us at least 2 more times to get to know us. Okay, we're going to do the Unity Happenings. If you look in the back of your program, you'll note that on April 14th, the Unity Bremerton's men group will be visiting, be here. I'm supplying breakfast, biscuits and gravy.
Of course.
And we're going to get here at 9 o'clock. That's what time it'll start. And then on the 15th, we'll have Reverend Karen Hamilton. And on the 18th, we have the Peninsula Photo Club meeting here. And I hear that's really interesting. Then on the 21st, we have the celebration for Grandpa Don at the Disabled American Veterans Chapter 5 down on Burwell. So, and that will be, what time is that?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. So,
Done by Joanna Gabriel at his request.
perfect. Perfect. Okay. Our board member?
Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
So, as board member of the week, I want to remind you that we're live streaming our service. So we ask that you keep conversation down because that gets picked up, and live streamed. So also, please be sure your cell phones are off. As Ron said, next Saturday, April 14th at 9 a.m. will be our next meeting of our men's group. We had a good first kickoff meeting with meditation and fellowship. There's if you would please RSVP, because that helps Ron know how much biscuits and gravy to make, and that we're going to expect you. And the topic will be at another meditation, more advanced meditation than the first one. And there's a sign-up sheet in the table in the fellowship area. So, and please bring a friend. We want to remind you also that prayer request forms are available in the pocket on the back of the seats, and you can put them in the prayer box up here, right there, or put them in the offertory bags as they're passed around. And the chaplains are also available to pray with you after the service. Please stop by the table in the fellowship area to see all the sign-up sheets we have for the events we have coming up. We have sign-up sheets for the upcoming craft fair. You can sign up to participate by contributing items to be sold or to be there for the event. The men's group meeting in April, for the astrology meeting in May, for our weekly e-blast newsletter, for the photography group club meeting, and many other things on the table that we have activities for. And as was mentioned, Saturday, April 21st will be the celebration for life for Don Cowdery, our beloved Grandpa Don, 1 p.m. at the DAV, Disabled Veterans on Burwell, as Ron mentioned. Also, our next family fun night will be Saturday, April 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. Anyone interested in the event can please sign up on a sign-up sheet in the fellowship area. Bring your favorite card, dice, or board game and some snacks to share, and let's have some fun. The board will continue to update you weekly with what we're doing, and so if you have any questions or concerns, please see me or another board member. Thank you.
This candle represents the divine light within each of us. Now we'll read our mission statement together.
We are a welcoming community supporting our mutual quest
For the spiritual truth. In our invocation,
There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence.
now we're going to have a short time of brief.
We don't have those
No,
words.
brief something weird.
Not for short people.
Short. Handshakes and hugs. So if you're not a hugger, stick your hand out real quick and take a hug.
Get hugged anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, it's not good. You guys, you pulled me
Yeah, it was 20 pounds.
I didn't get down there, so I didn't.
Oh, yeah, it was because they,
What'd they do?
okay, I just had a bunch of 2 weeks. Oh, yeah.
2 weeks away. Oh, because they were gone.
I'm on green. I didn't go back. Green. I almost always think of green when I put on green.
It speaks to my soul.
I know. You know what it is? My whole place is now just green. Yeah. Did you get off?
Give a little love, give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good. Give a little love, give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good. A couple more times. Give a little love, give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good. Give a little love, give a little light, it comes back round and I feel alright. Ah, life is good. Ah, life is good.
Daily word, comfort. This one just shouted at me this morning when I read it to myself. You know, it happens every once in a while. Some just speak to your spirit more loudly than others. I am always comfortable in the midst of the day's pressure and challenges. My life is often filled with schedules and obligations that cause me to feel anxious and stressed. When I feel overwhelmed, I can take time to realize that what I'm really feeling is the energy of the world around me. I can always choose to stay comfortable in the midst of pressure. I know without question that there is one presence and one power active in the world and in my life. When I am feeling out of alignment with that truth, I center myself in the energy of my heart and find the comfort of spirit that is always present. I feel that comfort radiating in every cell of my body, every thought in my mind. I am a perfect expression of the presence of the divine. I love that last sentence. Let's do that again. I am a perfect expression of the presence of the divine. From Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. It is the Lord who goes before you. He will be with you. He will not fail you or forsake you. Do not fear or be dismayed. Today I am always comfortable in the midst of the day's pressures and challenges. And God blesses us.
Amen.
Amen.
This little song is one that really Jamie and I have never done, but I think you all know it. And it's just a lovely, short song, and it's perfect for unity. It's called Sanctuary. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
I need you to help me sing along, as usual. And this gentleman recently passed away, and we all know that he didn't go anywhere. We just can't see him. If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seas he sowed, and if you see your sister standing by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street. Don't walk around down and out in a helping hand instead of doubt. And the kindness that you show every day will help someone along their way. You've got to try a little kindness, just show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people, on the narrow-minded. One more time. You've got to try a little kindness, shine a light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded street.
Very nice. I think I'll leave it down here for Joanna. The sanctuary song is actually the Unity Chaplain song.
It is? I
It
didn't
is.
know that.
Yes.
Well, I picked a good one.
Reverend?
Thank you, everyone. It's great to be here with you. And I want you to join with me and know that my voice is going to be strong and clear. I have still been coughing for the last 4.5 weeks. But we know it's all here. It feels great. It feels good, and we just know it's here. Thank you, God. Well, I was thinking about being with you this week and what I would want to share and how we would share energy, consciousness together. I was thinking about our world, that there seems to be a bit of a theme in our world that's about extremes. Don't you think? Extremes. Extreme weather, extreme loss, extreme violence, extreme statements. And I thought, what's the message for us here? Because it seems like it would be really useful for us to get it so that we could move on, don't you think? What do we need to get about it? And I was going through my files and I came upon this story. I don't think I had the opportunity to share it with you at the time because I don't think I was coming down here then. Remember a few years ago in Texas when they had these enormous floods that just destroyed towns, and it was just a really horrible thing. This story was on the internet. You may remember it. I don't know. It was around a lot. But I bring it up because it really, to me, speaks to this issue. This woman wrote, "On Monday I stood in the cleaning product aisle of the grocery store and almost wept. I was overwhelmed, heartbroken, and teetering on the brink of hopeless. In my basket were a few cleaning supplies I'd grabbed off the shelf. I was shopping for the people in my beloved former hometown, Wimberley. A call had gone out for cleaning supplies to help the many people displaced by huge flooding on Sunday. Over 70 homes were completely destroyed by a 44-foot wall of water coming down the Blanco River, and over 300 homes seriously damaged. All this in a very tiny area of Hayes County. As I stood remembering the images of the damage, entire neighborhoods destroyed, whole houses floating down the river with families still inside of them, 8 dead and 13 still missing, 1,000 people displaced in a town of 2,500. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of hopelessness. This is too big. 6 bottles of Lysol extra strength cleaner is not going to help anything. I can't make a difference in this sea of sorrow." Then my friend threw me a lifeline. "Every drop counts," she said. Suddenly my whole world shifted again. I realized that the flooding rivers that had taken so much from so many in such a short amount of time was created one raindrop at a time. And that would help, with each of us being a single drop. And what would help was each of us being a single drop and coming together to create a tsunami of healing and support. The world has plenty of despair, tons of tragedies, and an abundance of need. And it also has plenty of helping hands, tons of willing hearts, and abundance of love. Where was I going to put my attention? So I bought what I could at the time, using my intuition to guide me. rags and gloves, toothbrushes, tampons, soap. And every time the voice of despair and hopelessness threatened to rise, I turned my attention to being another drop of help and heart and love. Life can be overwhelming at times. You don't have to fix all of it. Just be the drop that you are. Do what you can. Remember that you are part of 7 billion other drops of possible compassion, healing, and skills. Where you put your attention can change everything. Later in the day, as we sorted through thick mud, wet carpeting, and soaked, scattered CDs, books, and pictures at my friend's house, I felt the preciousness of life and how quickly things can change. Within about 10 minutes, at around midnight, Sheila and Dan's cute cabin went from next to the creek to being part of the creek and nearby river. Luckily, they were awake and decided to check on the river. Luckily, they went out the front door and not the back, where they would have been swept away. Luckily, they were able to abandon their car when it got waterlogged as they fled and were able to walk through waist-deep water to safety. As I marveled, those 2 pictures of their grandkids and one drawing on the fridge seemed completely unaffected while so many other pictures in the mud and mess beneath my feet were destroyed. And then Sheila shared the peach story. When Sheila and Dan came back to their home after the waters had receded and opened the door, they were greeted by a swirl of destruction, overturned furniture, soggy papers, pictures, and items everywhere. A water line, a water line on the wall 6 feet deep, and a single peach from the kitchen that had floated and come to rest by the front door. Sheila and Dan looked at each other, smiled, washed off the peach, and had a peach moment. Eyes closed, taking in the sunshine and juice and goodness of that peach. Then they got to work saving everything they could in the 2-hour window before the next storm came. In these situations, the magnitude of their loss, their business computer, their cell phones, the ruined books they had just published, their 2 cars, and a small drop is a small drop compared to the oceanic gift of their lives. I'm weeping now, sitting in my office, feeling so grateful for community, for resiliency, for love. I'm crying for the unmet needs and all the shared kindness, for all that was lost and all that was found. My prayer is that these tears let my heart get bigger to hold both the tragedy and the beauty of life. May we always remember the power of the drop that we each are. Let's continue to come together in any way we can to create a flood of yes, to be the hands that wash off the mud, to be the volunteer who kindly asks the stranger at the shelter who has lost everything and what she needs, to be the person who donates food, bottled water, clothes, whatever we can fill up an entire high school gymnasium. Because every drop counts. And so that's a powerful story, isn't it? Yeah. And it reminds us what's important in the midst of these times of extremes. That it's about calling us forth to who we really are and what we bring into each moment. Because even though it seems overwhelming, we're still here, which means there's something to do, something to be. I think about this community, this wonderful spiritual community. This community has gone through a lot in the last year. There have been anchors in this community who are no longer here. And we've all experienced that loss, that space, that vacancy, that vacuum. Do you get what I mean? And you know, sometimes in some churches, when there's a period of time when there's not a regular minister, people will fall away from the community. It's like they feel, well, that there's no minister, so that means they're not really doing church. Or it's not really happening. Or I'm not going to put my money there because they're not really doing it right now. And the truth is this is a vibrant spiritual community that goes on every day, every week. There's no loss here. There's shifting of energies. But the vibrancy that this community is true every single day. And we know this as we look at quantum physics. Now, you know I don't talk about quantum physics very much because I am by no means a scientist. But we know in quantum physics, it has taught us that the power is actually in the space between the molecules. All things are possible there. There's a chaos of energy there, which means that new is coming. It's still deciding what it's going to be, what it's going to create, what it's going to show up as. So it's a very potent place, a very potent energy. Do you see what I mean? Do you get it? And so in this time, it's a very potent time. All things are possible here. Your presence, your energy, your time, talent, and treasure is needed more now than ever. It's like building a bridge towards the next piece, the next act, the next part of what is Unity of Bremerton. And you're all necessary for that. And all your energy comes together to draw to you that which will be the next energy, whatever that is, whether it's a new minister, a new, I don't know, a new location or anything, whatever it is, that all the things that you might be considering. Questions or comments about that? We're all dealing with extremes. All of us, individually and collectively. And it isn't a coup. It isn't an attack. There's no conspiracy here, unless you want to call spirit conspiring to call us forth to who we really are. When things are going nicely, it's easy. When our rafters are shaking, or the ground beneath us is shaking, that calls us forth to the truth of us, doesn't it? That's where we see what we're really made of. Now, does it have to be that way? No. In consciousness, we can choose that for ourselves every moment of now, can't we? But in our world, in this world of physicality, thus far, we seem to need the challenges to open the doors and windows. We seem to need that shaking to be reminded. It's not about taking us down, my friends. It's about lifting us up. And so in this moment where we're in a transition period for Unity of Bremerton, this is when all things are possible. What do you want to create together? Obviously, you're doing some wonderful social things together. The list of stuff that Joe was sharing, the list of stuff you're doing is wonderful. Are you partaking of that? Are you taking advantage of those opportunities? Are you bringing your friends, family, neighbors here to experience what's here? Because what's here is really special. And I can tell you that because I go to churches all over. And it feels like family here. It really does. You have something very beautiful, very wonderful. And you've been through a lot, and I've been coming here since Trenton. I don't know, how long have we been out of Trenton?
3 years. 4 years.
3 years? 4 years?
4 years.
4 years? Yeah. It seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? And I still remember the first day, because I was here the first day that you met after you left the church and met at the school. In the
Yes.
in
In the high school.
the school there, the vocational school or something, was it? Yeah. Out in the mezzanine, or what was it, the open area? And we all walked in there going, oh, okay. Okay, now what are we doing? And you spent several weeks there.
We were there a year.
Was it a whole year? So it was a year, and then you found your new space here. And then Rosella came on at somewhere in there. And you moved into a whole new era of Unity of Bremerton. In fact, you changed your name from West Sound Unity to Unity of Bremerton, right? And now here you are. And now you're embarking on yet another phase, another step, another era. What are you going to make it? It isn't a time to kind of hold back to see what happens. It's a time to get in there and decide what happens and move it forward. Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we hear about it every single day. And if we let it impact us, we would be hiding under the blankets, never coming out. No. And you may have a day once in a while when that's exactly what you need to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But do come out, because the world needs you. You bring something very unique to the space, to the table, to the room that nobody else brings. And you didn't come through this life, you didn't walk through the life you walked to shut down now. You've heard me say this before. Every single thing you experienced, good, bad, and everything in between, has prepared you for right now. Don't give up now. We're just getting started. And how good are we going to create it? Because you get to decide. And please don't let what you hear out there keep you from going for the good. Because this is the time to go for it, my friends. We got to balance out that energy. Right? Because it feels a lot like this, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We have to balance out that energy. And we do it every single day with each drop that we are. With each smile. With each moment of compassion and kindness. With every hug, handshake, wink, smile. We add to that balancing out. And that's what's needed now. And this place, Unity of Bremerton, is a wonderful place for you to come and get filled to go back out there. Because it's easy to get tired, to get exhausted, to feel used up. You have to fill yourself up from within. It doesn't come from outside. And so you come in here and get reminded that it's an inside job. In the wonderful songs that you have us sing, and in the daily word, and in the messages. You get reminded of the truth of that, of where to look for your good. It's not out there. It's in here. It's inside. And then it gets reflected out there. If that's not what's happening for you, where do you look? Out there? No. Well, you can, but it's a waste of time. In here. This is the power center. This is where the changes are made. This is where the screwdriver and the wrench and all of that can make some difference. Is inside. And here is where we remind you, because you don't hear that out there very much, do you? It's that you need to go buy this or you need to go do that. You need to be reminded of the truth of you, that the power's in here. Look here. And you go, oh yeah, that's right. That's right. And so this dear lady who wrote this story after having that experience in the flood, when she felt overwhelmed, flooded by despair, she was reminded of the challenge, but also the opportunity in the moment. I can make a difference, even a small one. But every drop counts. Questions or comments? Yes.
When you go out there and you are having the human experience, it makes going in here that much sweeter.
Wow, Thank you for that.
and that much important.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Because if we're paying attention, all the roads and arrows are pointing here, aren't they? If we're paying attention, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. Yes, dear. Did you?
No, I was helping you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes.
Actually, when I was working with Randy, the co-founder of Black Spring, and he used to say that when I'm not feeling good, his wife Judy breathes wrong. When he's feeling good, she breathes just fine. So it
There you
comes
go.
back to, and I know that when I'm loving myself, I love everything and everyone.
Mhm.
And when I'm not, there's things out here around.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. We become very judgmental. That's how I know I'm not connected to myself, when I'm getting really judgmental out there. Oh, did you see what she had on? Really? Someone told her about that hair? I mean, come on. That kind of stuff, that's when I know I'm not feeling good in here. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Sally.
Well, as you were talking and talking about spreading the word, Jim and Sally back here and I live in an apartment building of 240 apartments. And I think we need to start spreading the word a little bit,
There you go.
right?
You could start with singing.
Yeah.
Sneak some of those powerful, positive songs that you have in there. You could do some stuff from the 40s and 50s, and then you could throw in, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
Make Me a Sanctuary. It's a thought.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. You're the lights. You're lights, and you draw the light to you, and every single one of them in those apartments are lights too, and they may or may not be switched on. And you can help that. Yeah, good idea. Tell us what happens. Are you going to be on a commercial with, what's his name, the baseball coach? Is it a Shag community?
I don't think so. No, I wasn't thinking about me singing, I was thinking about putting flyers up.
Well, it's just another
That's
idea.
Yeah.
Anyone else? That's what we're up to, my dear ones. We're going to celebrate Grandpa Don in a couple weeks.
It's a big drop.
Oh, yeah. He's been the center of our heart here for a long, long time. And so I hope you're planning to come and celebrate him with us. And as we do so, it's bittersweet, isn't it? Because we celebrate all the good and the joy and the love and the fun. And I'm sure I meant to say this at some point. He had the best smile ever. Didn't he?
He did.
He truly did. And oh my goodness. And I'm sure he asked every one of you here if you would adopt him. That he would sleep on the couch.
I always said no.
And so we celebrate those wonderful feelings and memories of him. And it's also bitter because it's hard to say goodbye. But you know he's right here with us. Can you feel him? Kind of sitting, he's right over here, right? Isn't that where he would usually be? Right over here. Yeah, yeah.
Right next to Marilyn.
And that's life. Life is bittersweet. Because when we have the willingness to open our hearts to love, it means we also say yes to the pain of it when it changes form. It doesn't go away, it changes form. Right? And that's the deal with love. That's the deal. And so that's just one beautiful example of life. And I think Grandpa Don would enjoy being that example, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's take a moment in this kind of sweet energy to just kind of relax and get settled where we are. And let's just breathe together a little bit. If it feels comfortable, close your eyes. And let's take a few moments in silence. You know, Unity believes in prayer and meditation, because we understand that we are an expression of God, expression of divine. And so making a connection to that power and presence that lives within is vital. And so in every service that we ever have, there's always prayer and a time for meditation, even if just for a moment or two. Why? To remind us of that divine presence and that we have to choose to connect. I open my heart to divine presence in this moment of now. I breathe. I open the doors and windows of my heart. Come forth, sweet divine love, peace, God, whatever you name the essence of life. Breathe and allow and commune with that presence within. We are grateful for the reminder that we are God-informed, divine essence and expression. And from this place of awareness, if there's anyone you'd like to bring to mind, to heart, into this holy circle right now, who could use this reminder, who has stuff going on that maybe that isn't the first thing they're thinking. And oh, it would be really helpful right now. That divine love, that divine wisdom, that divine order, that divine healing, whatever the need is. And if you'd like to say their names out loud right now so we can hold them with you.
Betty.
Really?
Neil. For all those we've mentioned, for our spiritual community all together, and for our community at large, for our country, for our world, for the planet, for the universe. Because we're all one, we can hold the truth of us here, and all life is lifted up. and for this awareness and for the truth and power of this oneness. We are grateful, and so it is. Amen.
This is a favorite, oops. Oh. This is a favorite song of ours, and it comes from the, what was the name of that movie?
Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon. And it's called I'll Be Your Candle on the Water. I'll be your candle on the water. My love for you will always burn. I know you're lost and drifting, but the clouds are lifting. Don't give up, you have somewhere to turn. I'll be your candle on the water, till every wave is warm and bright. My soul is there beside you. Let this candle guide you. Soon you'll see a golden stream of light. A cold and friendless tide has found you. Don't let the stormy darkness pull you down. I'll paint a ray of hope around you, circling in the air, lighted by our prayer. I'll be your candle on the water. This flame inside of me will grow. Keep holding on, you'll make it. Here's my hand, so take it. Look for me, reaching out to show, as sure as rivers flow. I'll never let you go. I'll never let you go. I'll never let you go.
Thank you, Joanne. That was a beautiful reminder that tithing isn't all about money. It's about giving your time and caring about your community and the people in them. Thank you. So, as you are preparing your tithes and love offerings today, think about how blessed you are. And as you're writing your check or giving your gift, send your blessing out. If you could, we're going to do
They
the
got it.
blessing song.
They got it back.
Perfect. You can come up.
I am so grateful for all
that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.
Thank you. That's what you
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
Debbie? I understand. We could bless this. I give it
willingly, joyfully, and lovingly, knowing that God is the constant source of my supply.
As you know, we collect food for the homeless and people not as lucky as ourselves. Is there someone who will take this home? Thank you. Is there any good news to share?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning,
Good morning, George.
I'm gonna get a little verbose here, so if I'm up longer than you think I should be, tough luck. About 4 or 5 months ago, I passed out and fell. And during that fall, I broke my skull, which resulted in internal bleeding. And the internal bleeding kept me in a coma for quite some time until I could get some other holes cut in my head to allow the blood in my brain cell to release and seep itself out. And so it's been 5 months of a very challenging, and I got through it with the grace of God and the loving helpfulness of my wife Lois.
Yep.
I would get up each morning and I'd start the morning with my little mantra. In fact, it's the mantra I sang when they were airlifting Lois back from Colorado. And I just sang it all the way to the University of Washington Hospital. And that was, thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This wonderful, this wonderful, this wonderful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. So as I went through my ordeal, I had Lois to count on. She was very, very helpful. But I also sang that song for myself. Every day, every time I felt bad, I would sing that silently for myself. And there have been a number of instances where I felt the direct influence of God in my life. And the most recent was just the other day I was down visiting a neurologist who specializes in sleep medicine to get my CPAP machine refilled. And I was in there with a walker. And he looked at me and said, "Don't you think it's about time to lose that walker?" And I took that as communication from God, and I haven't used it since. So anyway, thank you for your support through all this endeavors.
Yay!
George, you are in our prayers.
And an inspiration.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
celebrate with you.
And George, you are an influence of God in all our lives. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other good news? Yeah, that was hard to beat, huh?
Yeah.
I'll back to follow.
Okay. I don't believe there's any children today. We could all stand, stretch across the aisles, hold hands. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now.
see my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.